Hey Insiders, we've got a very special guest joining us today who recently graduated from our. Let me start again. You haven't recently graduated. You've been on board LMA for a while now. All right, three, two, one. Hey Insider, we've got a very special guest joining us today who have gone through our LMA course and she'll be sharing with us her journey on board, how she honestly found this experience and everything in between. Just want to say it's a pleasure to connect. Let's start with an introductory question. What's your name? Where you currently based, and what do you currently do?
Okay, so I'm Leticia from New York, and I'm an educator. So I teach, I tutor,
Yeah,
and I'm also working other things, but that's my main focus right now.
nice. So, Letitia, we've been, kind of like on this journey together for quite a while now, right? You've been on our radar for a while. But if you don't mind, for individuals who are hearing, from you for the first time, prior to coming across the LMA work that we do, what
Mhm.
were some of the issues you was experiencing in your life, and how was that making you feel?
My life had taken a very anxious turn. I was not doing very well at work. They wanted me to make changes. I was against. Um, Thought I was making the changes, and my boss was like, "No." She was like, "This has nothing to do with you as a teacher. You're a great teacher. This is what I need you to do." And it was like,
Mm,
and it was a very stressful 2 years. And I kept saying, "Well, what is this really what I want to do?" Because that has been my question for a long time. It's been about 10 years. I've been teaching for over 20, but I wanted something more. And I didn't want to just retire and be like, okay, now what do I do? I'm home, I'm retired. Um, that's not who I am. I've always been very busy with work, after school programs, my kids. So I didn't want to just retire and be like, okay, I'm done. And I had ideas, but I wasn't really sure that I can do any of them. I knew nothing about real estate, for example. I wanted to travel. That was going to happen. So there was a lot going on in my mind at the time, and
okay.
I needed some direction. I needed some direction. My parents had always done multi-level marketing, so I've been around business people. And I tried that, but it just wasn't, how, you do a lot of stuff and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, yeah, that was cool. That was fun, but that's not me. That's not what I want to do for the next 20 years. So when I stumbled on a video, actually,
Mm,
I stumbled on a video and I don't do self development, Tim. I was very much against it because my thing was at the end of it, I know they're going to try to sell me something. So, I watched the video and turned it off before we get to the end.
right.
But when I saw your video, I was like, there's something about this guy. Um, so I was like, okay, I'll sign up for, the free Saturday class. Let's see what happens. And I was like, I'm gonna go with my notebook and get some information that I can use for myself. And we'll call it a day. I don't have any money to spend on this program. So I take the class
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying myself. And I knew when the pitch was going to come, I knew. I was like, okay, let's see what this is all about. Can I afford this?
Mm,
Totally different to me watching prior programs because it was like, okay, now you're going to sell me. I'm going to turn it off right here. Um, but there was some kind of connection
hmm
with you. And I was like, okay, we're going to try this course. And I tried that course. Then I did SMA, I did ELA. And even though I was still having issues, I saw the progress that I was making with these programs, and that's I guess what hooked me in the first place was
Yeah.
I was like, there's something here. I can work with this. He's talking to me.
Right. Okay. Well, firstly, I appreciate your honesty, right? So you had an opportunity to turn off that class and, kind of not even hear about the LMA, but you were saying there was a level of connection and that's what made you continue
Yeah.
listening to it. So when you was on the edge of that buying investment decision in terms of whether or not you should try LMA, what was your biggest doubt that was in your mind?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What was my biggest what?
Like biggest doubt or fear you had about LMA and what ended up putting that to rest for you?
My biggest doubt. Wow. There's a couple of things with that.
Mm,
I wasn't sure that I would stick with it.
mm,
Um, all my life I've been consistently inconsistent. At least that's what my mentor used to say.
yeah.
Because I'd work on it and then it'd be like, I'd get sidetracked and I'd come back. And then so I wasn't sure that I could do it, that it would be a part of me. That was my biggest doubt. Not that I didn't like the program. It was just that, could I do this myself? Could I adopt, what he's teaching and make it a part of my life? That was my biggest doubt. And then it was, there's so much information. How could I even remember? Like, I'm not going to get this. Like, how do I apply all of this? And you were like, just one thing, take one thing. And that's what you work with before you move on. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Just one thing. I could do one thing.
Okay. So the biggest doubt you had was basically whether or not you can get through it and actually just commit to finishing it, basically.
Yeah.
So what ended up making you get to the point where you graduated from this, 6 weeks journey?
That was the first time was really heart-wrenching. Um, there was a lot to dig through.
Mm,
But once I start something, I do like to finish, whether I'm going to, take it and run with it at all. I knew I had to finish it. And I was scared to do those Heartfluencer challenges. It's like me talking on camera. Why? Um, and it wasn't just, because I have Instagram and all that. It wasn't just talking on camera, but it was like pouring out a piece of yourself. I don't do that. What? No, we don't. Like I'm very much I won't say I'm very much introverted. It depends on if I know you or not. But for most people who meet me, yeah, warm and fuzzy is not something that they get. So doing the Heartfluencer challenges were hard. But once I started, I was like, I'm gonna finish this one. We're gonna finish strong. We're not just gonna, take it and then put it by the wayside and forget about it. No, this is something that I have to do to make myself better.
right. So was LMA the first online course you went through, or have you been
Yes,
through first
the
one?
first one.
Wow. So prior to that, was you consuming personal development like books or YouTube videos or?
um, I've read a few. Um, I get my issue was application, so no.
Yeah.
I've read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind was
Mhm.
one of the books that I actually bought and listened to a couple of times, not just once. I like that one. But I'm really picky. I have to connect with something or
Mm.
else I'm just listening and I'm not really absorbing anything or accepting what they're saying. So Success Insiders was like the first self-development that I really like grabbed a hold onto and stuck with it.
Mm. What made you, I suppose, yeah, connect with it?
Um, your stories. You really opened up to us and let us see not just your struggle, but like how you began to overcome it and the steps that you took. And that to me was what was amazing. I've watched self-help videos and stuff, and they give great information. But my thing is, I need to know how it applied to you. Like to me, that's the thread that connected me to Success Insiders. It's like this is what I did. these are the issues that I overcame and I'm working on. Like it doesn't get any better than that. And so for me, I was like, okay, if he can do that, then I can take some of these tools and
Mm.
improve my life.
Got you. So when you try to think back to when took that leap and joined us on board
Mhm.
LMA, what would you say initial first impressions wise? Because you ended up sticking to it. What surprised you the most when you first got involved with our work? What made you say, you know what, I'm not going to refund, I'm going to just try this?
What made me stay? I think it was at that point in my life, it was all or nothing. I
Mm.
didn't know um, any other ways to really make the change in my life. And I think that's really what it was. It's like, this is, go hard or go home kind
Right.
of situation. So I stuck it out.
Got you. And you got to the end of it, right? You experienced LMA. What would you say overall like made you feel the happiest or surprised you about this experience?
You said the rule that surprised me about the experience?
Yeah, so like overall, like what's like surprised you or made you feel the happiest about having gone through LMA?
Mm. There's so much. Oh my gosh. I'm kind of choking up here too. One of the things that I think made me the happiest was seeing the some of the immediate changes. It wasn't just, you do this and eventually you'll see something. Um, as I worked through it, I began to notice my interactions with people were different. Um, I was connecting with more people, taking the time out to not just stay in my little bubble. Um, I was, going out and even like co-workers at work. I don't really talk. If you know me, hi, hello, how you doing? But my life is my life. I keep it very much to myself.
Yeah.
And this was like right before the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I connected with teachers I hadn't spoken to, and we're in the same building, by the way. I hadn't really talked to in
Mm.
years, but I was connecting. I wasn't reserving myself, which is usually what I do. I
Mm.
kind of just pull back. I didn't pull back. I was me. I didn't try to put on a facade. And so what made me happiest was I was able to kind of come out. um, like a turtle sticking their head out. I was able to come out of my shell a little bit
Yeah.
and be comfortable with that, not feel like this is too much. I'm gonna I'm gonna retreat now. Um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, that made me the happiest because I feel like I'm not totally an introvert,
Mm.
but for me it's easier to avoid judgment
Yeah.
and
Okay.
just stay to myself. And with LMA, it was like, you're not gonna like everyone. So why would you expect everyone to like you? You're doing it
Exactly. Yeah.
because of you, not for someone else. So there were a lot of little tidbits um that made me very comfortable with myself and very excited about the program.
Nice. And you're saying basically what made you happiest is seeing those results. But in general, I'm curious to know, what would you say like has been the biggest benefit for you then? Like going for LMA, what's been the big highlight for you?
Making new decisions.
Mm.
That was my biggest benefit. I've been an educator for over 20 years, but I'm presently not working for my regular job. Um, I was let go. And so the first panic was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I gotta find a job, gotta find a job.
Mm.
Um, and I started tutoring. I work for myself now. And that's always in the back of my mind. Things would be better if. And at one point I was like, we've done that all our lives. We've worked for someone else. We've never really just worked for ourselves and taken the time to build from there. Why not just do it? Um, and so it took me a while to be comfortable with that. But it was like, yeah, why not take the time to build what you dream about? Like you're not gonna build it while you're working for someone else. You've tried, it didn't work. Doing 27 different things, but nothing was for you. So LMA has made me take that step, make a new decision. Instead of trying to dig my way through a job and then find time elsewhere, I'm taking the time now to build me.
Nice. My final question is going to be this. When you was on the edge, right, of possibly trying LMA. You know what that kind of felt like to you, and you know, you was very honest with me a second ago in terms of like you was about to turn off any sales pitch or whatever it may be. Um, what advice would you give to somebody right now watching this, currently on the edge, thinking about maybe trying LMA, having gone for it yourself? What advice would you give to that person?
It's time to do something for you. Because I think people, well, not everyone, but I've met a lot of people and they focus on everyone else but themselves.
Mm,
You know, this person needs help, that person needs help, my family, this, that. And it's not until something major happens, as you were talking about before, that you like take a minute and like, wait a minute, like all these things have been going on. And what about me? Don't wait till something major happens. Do something for you. And LMA is definitely the thing to do for you.